All right. So this is our last Coach's Corner episode. We should have had more of these, but life be life, and you got a lot in your plate. I got a lot in my plate at times. So trying to get these episodes. I don't think people understand. Like, it's not as easy as these other podcasters make it seem, because they actually got a lot more structure that's like corporate. Like, we ain't got that. We actually doing
Not
like
yet.
real
Not yet.
life. Right. I haven't got a dime from this yet. So until I start seeing some money coming in, maybe I'll be like able to do like what, 5 episodes a week. It ain't like that. But for what we got, we can load it up. We could give a lot of people everything we need to give them, so that they could hear our perspective, our stuff. And just so people know, or before I get started, this is Coach JB, by the way. Recently coached Bedford, correct?
Yep.
Offensive coordinator, or you were just doing the receivers?
Past game,
Yeah,
we weren't running my system, but definitely a lot of influence on what we were doing. And so I think that's good sometimes.
yeah. But what was y'all? What was the outcome of the season? We didn't really talk much about it.
We finished up 8-3. We went undefeated in the DCL. As you know, we coach in the DCL.
Mm-hmm.
Big at that. I'm gonna point that out to people. There's a difference between playing in the big and the small. The big teams are, yeah, there's more
They're
kids
big.
on the team, a little bit more, may have more coaches on the
Yeah.
staff. Kids have probably been playing all things that go playing in the big. But yeah, I'll throw this out there. I've never beat in my coaching career, right? Like ever. Cambridge or at they just winning isn't everything, especially at the high school level. It's about development. But the South Shore, they just have more kids on the team, and it's more of a working class place. So I think the value of sports is associated with grit and discipline, and that's what you'll take out of sports. It can't be like sports as a side thing. If you see sports as a side thing, as a hobby, which it should be to an extent, like you should be having fun, well then you're never going to be able to handle a 6-day schedule. You're never going to be able to handle a summer schedule in the off season. You're not going to develop with your peers. You're not going to have the continuity. And so I just think, yeah, I think that the South Shore it's a little bit more working class, and also family size. Like, family size a lot smaller, in the Route 2 area, than probably down there. A lot of smaller families up here. So you just don't have as many kids that would go out
Yeah.
amongst the stigma of the sport. So there's that.
Yeah. Nah, you're making a great point. I mean, because a lot of those South Shore towns are, those are people who used to live probably in the city, and they moved out there. Their families got bigger. You know what I'm saying?
That's the
Um,
option I have to think about. Do I want to move to the South Shore? I don't want to move to the South Shore. No offense to the South Shore.
yeah.
You know, I like being close to the city. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so, yeah, no. It's 100%. People are getting pushed out there for sure. And that's kind of what it is.
Before we get to the NFL, are you seeing any? Because I heard on the radio about NIL in high school. Is that a thing really happening in most areas now?
And we
Because
in
I know, because
Massachusetts.
when we were coaching, we like together. Like, I didn't hear us ever discuss anything about NILs or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't have enough time to know what the rest of the country's doing for NLI money. That is like so far off my radar, so I
But
can't
I'm
say
talking
that.
about high school though. High school has
No.
NIL.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean, it probably is happening someplace, right? I would assume it, right? Like there are some players that could come out of that as in high school could play in college, so they're probably trying to get scooped up early. But no, nothing that I've seen. But that doesn't mean it's not there. I'm just
Mhm.
not. We're Massachusetts football. It's okay. It's decent. Like yeah, we're not with Florida and Texas. Yeah, those areas might know more about that, but I don't know nothing
Right.
about it.
No, I hear you. Yeah, because I just wondering, because I know it is becoming a thing, as far as like high schools and private schools enticing these kids to come over, and not for money per se, but like opportunities for marketing, or like, hey, if you come here, we could provide, room and board, those type of deals, that so that they could come in and play, and they're guaranteed possibly a starting job. they streamline them to the next step, which is a D1 to like wherever that they have connections with. So I was wondering. I mean, it makes to me. I think it's kind of making sense as the angle some schools are going to go through, especially in Massachusetts.
They're already going that angle without it. I think it's. I'm gonna be honest, but throw it out there. I'm not saying that private schools don't provide opportunity. There are definitely upsides to private school,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not necessary for football. Like you're either doing what you're supposed to be doing or you're not. Let's make it this way. It's not basketball. One player will not have the impact it does in football. You're gonna need many other guys around you, right? It's a team sport, right? Not to say the other ones aren't, but one player does not have that level of impact.
Yeah.
If you want to go D1 in football, that means that you're lifting weights, you're running, you're reflecting on what you need to work on. You're not just doing what you want to do. You're studying offense and defenses. It's crazy. Listen, I got books on books on books on things in football. Football got so much nuance to it, but if you're not doing that, nobody can do that for you. And like I went to private school for a year, and I'm not saying that some of these private school coaches aren't like savages, right? But there's some savages at public schools.
Yeah.
You need to get with a good position coach that's going to develop your game, right? You'll sit within an offense and defense at a high school level and learn. Bro, I was at Bedford this year. They can't go to BC. So it's just not true. But he's
Mhm.
6'4", 200 plus pounds. Most kids ain't doing that. I'm
Yeah.
talking about other boy right now. He's talking about a receiver out in New York, and they're looking at Syracuse. He's like 5'7" right now. They're hoping he grows to 5'9", 185. Bro, that's Pop Douglas. That's an anomaly. You're not seeing that every single day. It doesn't mean it
Yeah.
can't happen, but you need to understand what D1 size is, what D1 tangibles are. And then you need to go fill the rest with intangibles. But a lot of people, private school's not going to fix your intangible problem. You got to
No.
go do that. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
because
saying?
they have almost an expected expectation you own your own development, especially if they provide the state of the art weight rooms and they're giving you tutoring and all. They're giving you the college
Listen,
type
I'll tell you this.
vibe.
Some of the best weight rooms in this state, okay, are in the Merrimack Valley.
Mm, that's
That
what I'm saying.
conference up in North Shore, like you look at Barica and them, some of their weight rooms, some of those schools got the best weight rooms in the state. So
They
at
probably
the
have
end of
to.
the day, these weights ain't gonna lift themselves.
Yeah,
So
you still
it's
got to
gonna
put
come
in
back
that
to the
work.
same thing. So I
You
won't
got.
go too deep, but that's my rant. You know, private schools, yeah, if it makes sense, do it. But I don't think it's a necessity for football.
Yeah, no, I agree because a lot of public schools outside of the New England areas, New England in general, they thrive pretty well because their kids are willing to stay home and take care of business where they at
And their
because there's a lot
school
of
district.
tradition too.
Well, the school district has to want, and like I don't want to make this about high school football. The school districts have to want to be good at football.
Mm-hmm.
You need a head coach that understands the X's and O's, not the guy that's just there, right? Then beyond that, right, you need coordinators. Like there's a lot of work. Listen, man, I got to see it on a staff this year. It was really good. I'm like, damn, some of these guys is watching 15 hours of film this week. I know places they got coaches ain't even watching an hour,
Right.
maybe not even 30 minutes, right? So there's a lot of work that goes into it. And when you see how much watching film, like, not only helps you get better, but it
Mm-hmm.
really informs the decisions you're making within a 40-second window, there's no chance you can compete when you ain't watching that much film, you know? And
Mm-hmm.
that's from players to coaches. Like, there's just no way. You have no clue what's about to happen. You're just playing off athleticism. Listen, man, when you get to the top, that's why football is a team sport. When you get to the top, you could be the best player in the game. They could take you away.
It's true. We actually, and to segue that, we actually have seen that in week 16 itself that just went by. A lot of turn, like, obviously the weekend games, well, not the weekend games, the game on Thursday, and then we had 2 games on Saturday. Not I'm not gonna get into the Packers game just yet, but we saw that in that game, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't taken away from Jordan Love because he was playing poorly. It was taken away from because the game of football is unforgiving. You know what I'm saying? Something can happen without out of your own control, whether it be a non-contact, could be a head-to-head collision in his case. You never freaking know. You never freaking know. And you also cannot make an excuse. Like in the Rams game, they didn't have Devontae Adams, but didn't mean that, but Stafford was still able to put up 400 plus. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to put that L on the Rams, on Stafford at all, because he played like an MVP in that game. He stepped up. He got Nakua the ball. Like, your goal as a quarterback get the ball into your best playmakers' hands, but be talking about X's and O's and film watching Mike McDonald, excuse me.
Yep.
I I must say, man, him and Clint Kubiak are coaching their asses off over there in Seattle. Like I love what they're doing. They won the game 38-37. We're obviously going into week 17 starting tomorrow, but I like to talk about because these games were big. These were a lot of big games this past weekend that implicated that had a lot of implications, which decided like possible playoff seedings and also teams clinching the playoffs. But that game was probably we're gonna have a preview of that game for the NFC Championship. Who knows? So that was exciting. The Bears Packers game, being a Packers fan myself, I was kind of like disappointed out the outcome. It gave me some goosebumps, like because I had to see this all over again. It's something I hated to see from years ago. But you play the game you just play the game. It's like you said, it's not one guy. It's a team sport. Not one single outcome will always determine what happens in these games. We could talk about all these different things that like I only bring up those two games because we saw that fumble, 2-point conversion. A lot of people were like, their hairs were on fire because they were like, what the fuck just happened here? Like, what's going on? Obviously, people don't understand the rules of football enough. So they get their brains start to scramble in the moment. And then, of course, in the Packers game, and you as a head coach, I want to get your input on this. I feel like a lot of head coaches are like not big fans of teams, like special teams, even though it's so important. But not like they probably look at special teams and like this should be the least intrusive part of our game, where fundamentals is by far the one thing you should absolutely be focused on at the moment because you have one job, and that's to recover the onside kick. You know what I'm saying? Our best guys with the best hands should be on that team. Speaking for as a fan as the Packers, I love Romeo Dobbs. I feel for him, young kid. He makes the toughest catches, but that was one moment where I was absolutely disappointed because you just gotta corral that thing and just fall on it, man. Like that's why I remember you mentioned this last year when we were coaching. Kids need to play more than one sport. I'm sure if he was playing some type of baseball back in the day, he probably would have understood like I need to he would know to understand how to field a ball that's trickling towards him. But yeah, those were the two games that I found very intriguing. Obviously, there was other games like the Tampa Carolina game. Panthers are shocking a lot of people, even though I feel like they're a hitter. They're like they're hit or miss every other week. But that's kind of who they are right now. And then you had of course, Patriots beating Baltimore, another game where we could talk about one play here and there or whatever, and then of course Pittsburgh beating Detroit, and also Jacksonville beating Denver. I have some stuff to talk about with Jacksonville, but out of the Week 16 and everything I just talked about, what did you see and like when you like kind of observed the games this past weekend?
There's too much to hit, but let's start with the 2-point conversions. Yeah, I mean, in live time, it didn't even cross my mind, right? Like, it
Mm-hmm.
didn't even cross my mind. And then when they replayed it, I was like, oh shit, that pass went backwards. It definitely went backwards. And I think because the guy tipped it, it made it even more like it just got tipped. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And then they picked it up. I think you talk about just fans at home. The players need to have a little bit more of a better understanding of that
Too?
because even the guy who picked it up, was it JSN?
I believe
Even the
so.
guy
Yeah.
that whoever picked it up, they didn't even pick it up with urgency. They just picked it up like how they would normally pick up a ball.
Yeah.
If you get on that ball, that situation doesn't happen. To be honest with you, not even a good red zone play. I mean, they ran like a spot screen there with their running back. Like, I don't even know about that play call, but hey, like in terms of that game, I'll use that game. Like, I actually feel more confident about the Rams
Mm-hmm.
moving forward than the Seahawks, and the Rams didn't win that game. Sometimes the ball just don't bounce right, and I think that play is like literally the exact example of like what could happen. You know what I'm saying in a game. Um, I also think the Rams defense is still like semi young, so they're just only going to get better with more experience.
Yeah.
Their offense is like I hear people all the time. They're like, "Oh, Puka Nakua is a dog." Like, yo, Puka's a dog, but you know who else is a dog? Sean McVay's a dog. You know who else is a dog? Matt Stafford's a dog. They got
Yeah,
two good running backs, not one but two,
two of them.
right?
Yeah, Blake Corum was
And
pretty
then I
good.
know Devontae Adams. He was like that system is a pass catcher's dream. They motion you that like dog. So that team is my favorite, I would say. But like, and then yeah, so I'll say that one, the 2 point conversion, whatnot in the game. I do think they need to find a way to close it out still. Hopkins, I mean Adams or not, but sometimes the ball just bounced differently. The Lions Steelers game, that was crazy because I
Yeah.
didn't like that call. I'm not saying I'm right. I don't like that
What
call at all.
the PI on Amon Ra?
The PI, you can toss it up, right? Like you can whatever. I'm not liking the way they're applying pass interference. That's a whole different conversation right now in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think a game should end on an offensive penalty that would have resulted in a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
When the Lions accepted that penalty, they should go 10 yards back from the spot or whatever the penalty is and get another try. If it was false start, if it was illegal procedure, any of those types of things, cool, I get it. Those are procedural alignment penalties, 10-second runoff, end the game. Boom. But if the defense had held, offense would have got another play. I don't think because the offense, because it's a judgment call, right? Pushes off, they flip the ball to Jared Goff. Goff gets in and scores. They should have had to run that play one more time. I did not like that. That didn't make any sense to me. In terms of an officiating standpoint. I hope it's one of those things that, like, I know every year when the season ends, they go back and review rules because that would be like my thought process on it that they should have got to run another play. But the Lions are in trouble for sure. I hope they can get into the wild card. I don't want to see the playoffs without them. I think that's a fun team, but they're in trouble.
Yeah, there's a lot of regression with them. That's like that. That's very unfortunate. Like they get as far as the NFC Championship a couple years ago, and then suddenly, all of a sudden now they're not. Now they're looking from the outside looking in. But yeah, like I almost forgot about all that. Yeah, the PI on Amon Ra. That's ticky tacky in a sense, if you say so. But what I could say is that it's I for one don't feel bad for them as a fan.
Nah,
But 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 I remember I heard someone say this. They were like, if let's say for example, Amon Ra did not pitch it back and he just took it, they would have replayed it. That was what the confusion was.
no. If Amon Ra, if they didn't pitch it, let's say he got tackled there,
Mm-hmm.
the Packers, the Steelers would have just declined the penalty and the game would have ended.
Really? Oh, because they
But
had no
that's what would have
timeout.
happened.
They had no timeouts. The time would be running.
Yeah, like that's why he pitched it. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
okay,
So
okay.
they would have declined the penalty, the game would have ended. But because Goff scored, it changed everything. Because now
Mm,
you can't decline the penalty because it'll be a touchdown.
yeah.
That's why to me, the whatever. But we don't go too far on it. But to me, I would like to see that rule evaluated because that doesn't make sense to me.
Mm,
Like I said, if it was a false start or a legal shift or something like that, something that happened prior to the play, cool, makes sense. But a touchdown was scored as a result of the play.
yeah, that's
Game shouldn't end on that. They should go 10 yards from the spot of the pass interference. It should have took them to the 10-yard line. They should have had to run a play again for the last play of the game.
yeah, that's that. Like you said, for one, the players have to be cognizant of the rules, which is kind of crazy. How a lot of these guys played football almost like 10 years of their life, and they
They're
don't know.
podcasting. They're podcasting like us.
Yeah, they're like, huh? I didn't know that was a rule. Like, bruh, like there's certain things that are to me seem common sense in a sense, but then again, there's so much going on in the
So
game.
much.
You don't even think about it. Going to what I was gonna say here. So yeah, wanted to kind of get into like a segment, a quick little Christmas themed segment, pretty much. We're gonna talk about what's given us the joy so far this season. Kind of have a Grinch moment as well of like what grinded your gears this year, whether it be a team, a certain play, or the NFL in general, whatever. We could talk about gifts, like I'll give out who's leading the way as far as awards. pretty certain the ballots are already in. They usually have the ballots in way before we think.
They gotta wait, man. There's a lot that could happen over these next couple weeks that are gonna.
Understandable, but from my understanding, from because I listened to Mike Florio, he's one of the guys who vote. He says their ballots are in like week 13, 14.
That's
Yeah.
horrible. We're in the prime of the season right now.
Well, here's the way I look at it. So week 17 and 18 are starting to look like the last 2 weeks of preseason now, because only a handful, less than a handful of teams are going to be in the hunt for a clinching opportunity this week at least.
Playing for seeding.
There'll probably like be one or two teams that are trying to still clinch a seeding, which would probably be Tampa and Carolina by next week. They'll probably be the Sunday night game. More than likely, for example, Drake May, Stafford. Their last 2 weeks, these past 2 weeks are what decided it for them, in my opinion. So I think if Drake May had beaten Buffalo, and that solidified the fact that Patriots, I should say, are the number one seed going forward in point blank period, because they're probably not going to lose these next two games. He is a clear cut favorite, but because Stafford put up the 400, he had like 3 or 4 touchdown passes, and then the prior week, he performed well after that, after having a bad game against the Panthers. He's gonna lead the way and most likely win it. But obviously, we know about Garrett. That ballot's already in. That's 99. Like, he should be
Yeah, that
unanimous.
that's different. I mean, if you about to break an NFL record, like that's different. I just think I don't like that because so much can change in the next 2 weeks. And like with the Jaguars winning, they have a shot at first place.
I know,
So
but they don't have
to
any.
me,
They don't have anybody who's a MVP candidate though.
I would argue Trevor Lawrence is if they get to first place.
He ain't gonna get the votes.
He should get the
Well, he'll
votes if he
get
gets
votes,
to
but he
first
won't get
place.
those type of
Have
votes.
you have we even looked at what I'm not saying you, but like have we even looked at what Trevor Lawrence has done in the last 5 games?
I've seen it. I'm impressed.
Yo,
I'm not shocked.
he has not thrown an interception since November 23rd. That's over a month. His QBR has been 110 or higher every week. Yo, he's got a game with 5 touchdown passes, another with 3, 2 with 2. He throws for 230 every single game. Like, if the Jaguars were somehow to get to first place in AFC, which is not impossible at this point,
He's nails. No, he is
they should not
nails.
be making that decision on that award until week 17, week 18. The season should be all but over. It's not.
I
And we know this, not to cut you off, we know this because of the Miami Miracle
mhm.
that you cannot go into a divisional game assuming you're going to win it. You
That's also
can't.
true. That
That's
is
why they
true.
set it up that way in the NFL. So you're playing a team that generally don't like you and knows you very well. They can ruin a season. They can ruin a season. And they're all playing for seeding right now.
No,
You
I
know?
agree with you. I agree with you.
I don't like that one bit.
It's what I heard last year.
Now
I was trying to
I'm not saying I don't like that. Like that just like come on, bro. We're not the NBA.
say.
Don't
I
do
know.
that. Don't do NBA like things. I don't even know what the NBA does. I just blame the NBA for everything. They're ruining professional sports, man, as far as I'm concerned. Shout out to Jason Tatum. Don't come back this year. But if you do come back this year, man, I respect that. That's real gritty of you. But
Yeah, it
these
is.
NBA players, they just take time off. It's like they don't even care about the product,
They
man.
don't care. They don't
They
care.
don't care.
They're getting their check. They don't care. It is what it is. They have no sense of urgency whatsoever.
I hate that, man. What is the point of playing for 20 something years if you're missing time almost every single season?
It don't. I don't know. You know what it is? After like the money and the agents and all the noise around them, these guys don't give a shit, man. They don't care who they bother. Who
It affected me, the paying
they.
customer. I ain't watched the Celtics since Jason Tatum been out, and I'm glad Jalen Brown's kind of doing his thing. But that team's not winning the championship without Jason Tatum. So I just don't
I
like.
don't care.
Yeah, don't be wrong. Yo, come April, I'm gonna have my Celtics jersey on. I'll be ready to go for the playoffs. But I know how that goes.
Yeah.
We
I
need the
mean,
Jays.
we'll see. I mean, I'll be impressed if he comes back early, but I think he should
Yo,
sit it out.
he's
I think he
in a
should sit
report.
it
They
out.
said he's definitely coming back.
He should sit it out. It's okay. It's okay.
Nah, it ain't okay. We need that. As much as I want to hear, if the doctors approve it, if the doctors
Because
say he's good, he's got.
my concern is he's not going to come back as if he's gonna it's gonna take him at least another couple more months to be like very much in game shape
But that's what to me,
and
that's
like
what the
himself
playoffs
again.
would be. The first 2 rounds, the
That's probably the
Celtics.
worst time of the year to do that, though.
I think if you could get in a little bit before, listen, the Boston Celtics should make it out the first round with or without Jason Tatum.
Yeah, the
So
East is
that
weak. I'm hit.
that could be his warm up series.
I hear you. I'm just it's just we're talking about Achilles, man. Like it took like even Kevin Durant said, even though like people make it seem like Kevin Durant got it at very late in his life. He was only like going into his 31 years old. It was
He was
2020.
definitely in his third year. He was
Yeah, he was because Tatum's not as young as
27.
people are assuming him. He's about to be 28 in the spring. So when he comes back, he'll be 28.
I won't say it.
Yeah, he's 27 right now.
Yeah, but
So he'll
this
be
it already happened. I think he'll be fine. I think the modern surgery, like I really do think he's straight.
yeah. I think he got the surgery that
He got it
Aaron
that night.
Rodgers got.
But he got it that night. No one
Hmm.
has ever got ACL surgery. I mean ACL Achilles surgery that fast. He got it that night.
Oh, speaking of ACL surgeries, freaking Mahomes got his directly the next day.
Of course.
he's
Well,
a
why do
he's
you
a
think he
he's a
wants to get back? You honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think they should bring. It's not gonna make a difference whether they bring him back week 1 or week 5. It sounds crazy. I don't think the ACL surgery is gonna affect Patrick Mahomes. I actually think it's gonna make him a better player.
oh, me too.
I think
I agree.
some time off of football would be good.
Yep.
We're talking about right now about Mahomes has played through injuries. Let's make that clear. He's played through injuries.
That turf toe that Joe Burrow had, he had this technically had the same one going into that Super Bowl, but nobody's gonna really care about that because it sounded like it was nothing
Yep.
at the time.
He's had the high ankle sprain a bunch of times.
Dislocated kneecap.
Yep. No, he's a dog. He's a dog. He's carried everything. I respect everything Patrick Mahomes does. I hope he gets some rest. I hope he can turn the TV off. I hope they can lose. That sounds crazy. So that the Chiefs can pick up Jeremiah Love. All right. Because I think that would be a good matchup for both sides.
Hmm.
I would love to see Love with Andy Reid, and I think that they need a better running back. I think they can keep Pacheco as a change of pace guy, but I think they need more weapons. And like I said, we won't go too much off a tangent, but yeah, I hope they get Love, or at least a good offensive player
Listen,
for that
whoever
offense.
gets that kid, they're in for a very electrifying.
Maybe depending on the team, can't be a trash team, no offensive line, and then you're gonna roll a running back out there, man.
Be out there looking like Austin Gentry.
Austin
Genty.
Gentry's man.
Damn. But yeah, so the last segment would be cold, pretty much like who you think's gonna get fired, who's to blame, all that good stuff. But yeah, so far this season, what has given you, I would say, joy? Like a team, a player achievement, um, anything you've observed, and you're like, you know what,
Yeah,
this.
I'll just go with this one. I'm glad the Patriots are winning again. I'm glad. Well, I'm not. I'm always gonna be a Patriots fan at heart. Like my man cave, wherever at home, will always be Patriots fans. I'm a rolling wherever Joe Burrow is. I'm just happy for the people because people have to understand sports bring joy or
Hmm.
misery.
Hmm.
And fans often, when teams aren't winning, they just disperse. They don't do anything. They don't watch anything. And it's nice to see more people talking about the New England Patriots again. I never stopped watching the New England Patriots. I'm watching a ton of football every single day. But it's nice to hear people like, oh, you think this is the year? It's like, no, I don't think it's the year, but I'm glad you think it's the year. Like I'm glad you believe the Patriots are good again. So yeah, I love that, man, because I'm a football enthusiast and I love the more people watching football and being involved in football there is out there. So when your local team can get people more locked into football, it gives me more conversations that I can have with people. So that's my joy, man. The New England Patriots winning. I would say there could be other things, but I would say that's my joy.
Yeah. I'm still gonna say, the Packers getting Michael Parsons was my joy. I mean, with all that said, I know a lot of people are gonna make their comments, especially Bears fans. They're gonna make their comments because he tore his ACL. I mean, he's
He'll be
still only
back.
26 years old.
He'll be back.
If you ask me again, would I give up Kenny Clark 2 first rounders for him again? Absolutely yes. Like 12 and a half sacks. You could kind of like people. What was happening throughout the season was a lot of the national media was over analyzing and saying, well, he only has one tackle. And there was one week where somebody was like, Jamar Chase has more tackles than Michael Parsons. I'm like, Michael Parsons is a pass rusher. So if Jamar Chase got more tackles, that means his quarterback is turning the ball over many times. A lot of times that's going his way.
There was that game, bro. There was that game against the Vikings, bro. It
Yeah.
was
Oh,
crazy.
that let's forget about that one. That was atrocious. That
That
was
was
pretty bad.
atrocious. I already got my cold. I already got my cold before I go
Biden,
my
Biden had like the greatest defensive game of his life. It was
yeah.
insane. But yeah, like I'd say Michael Parsons, for me, like that's when you're a franchise that's feels like you're close, you have to swing for the fences. You can't just windows are opening. I felt like the Packers window was semi open, still being the one of the youngest teams in the league. But I think when you pull that trigger, you set it's a sense of urgency as a GM, as a franchise, because the NFC is no fluke. It's a tough conference, and I mean both conferences are tough. AFC has the best quarterbacks, in my opinion, but the NFC is just a gritty fucking conference. Like it's always something gritty going on over there, and obviously the best I think in NFC is Dak Prescott, but he can't get over the hump, and there's obvious reasons because it's like it's deeper than your quarterback over there. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm happy that they got him. That brought me a lot of joy. I'm still gonna enjoy that. I think he's gonna come back week one, or even if he comes back in the after a quarter of the season's gone. Like I
They
have
should be able to win 10
yeah I
games
have
without Micah Parsons.
oh they
So
can't dude they planned the whole off season without him, so they
yeah.
know what kind of defense like they played well on Saturday. To speak on that game, that team played well. It was Caleb Williams had two throws that sealed it. What can you do? What the fuck can you do? Like if it wasn't for that face mask on 3rd and 20, where he like the game's over. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
again, it's not one play.
Yeah.
Anything could happen. You have to make the stops. Caleb Williams played his ass off when it mattered. So, and I don't think having Micah would have made a difference there neither. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
think
the
it would.
defense.
I'll throw that out there. I think it would. But I
I'm
think the
saying in those
Packers,
in those
yeah.
two plays, because the way Caleb is just really good at what he's doing in that moment is what I'm saying.
I think you got to speed that guy up and you got to rough him up. And I think that's what Micah can do. Yeah, I mean, I think it's up for the Packers. Like, he's young. These surgeries aren't what they used to be, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, if you want to be great after your surgery, you could be just as good, if not better. You can lose a little bit of athleticism or stay the same. Like, you'll be fine. Packers got a good team. They got to keep getting better. They should be in the mix. Also, like, there are a lot of things that are happening, right? Like I said, the Packers are entering their prime, right? The Lions may be coming down. We'll see what they do next year. The Vikings had to step back this year. And, listen, the Bears are having a great year, but it's going to change. When you go to offseason this year, we're watching you. Caleb Williams, we're watching you. What do you do? Where do you break the pocket every time? Where do you like to throw from? When
Yep.
they line up in this, what do they do?
Yeah,
Ben
that
Johnson
tape's
got
gonna
that
be.
team going right, but
Hmm.
they don't have film on him beyond this season with this team.
Correct.
They're gonna have film on him next year. That gets a lot harder when you got to go out there year after year when your tendencies are there for the whole league. They draft
Hmm.
based on that.
Hmm.
So we'll see.
No, I agree. Yeah. We definitely will see. I mean, shout out to them. I guess. Fuck them. As far as like being a bah humbug, being a Grinch about certain things. What has grinded your gears so far this season that you've noticed and you're like, or like a team, like if there's a team you were disappointed in, or a player, or anything, or a coach, anything in particular that you noticed that you're like, man, this is getting me out the spirit.
Cincinnati Bengals. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? You have Joe Burrow. I don't get it. Do not, bro. You have a generational quarterback. Please do not turn this guy into Dan Marino. Please do not turn this guy into the dude from the Colts, caveman. Like, do not do that. You have a quarterback, and you need to build your system accordingly.
Hmm.
Listen, I believe things are for sure in the NFL. Every head coach is going to get fired at some point in time unless you can keep getting talent in. Sean McVay was going to get fired. They got talent in. You seen Bill Belichick got fired. Man, like everyone is going to get fired. Listen, they talk about firing Mike Tomlin every single year. Same with Kyle Shanahan. Every single
Hmm.
year they want to fire these guys. Listen, Ben Johnson, not been my fault. Yeah, yeah. Even Ben Johnson, right? Earlier in the season, is this going to work? This going to work? Everyone's got to play a part. Dog, you have Joe Burrow. Build your team accordingly. They used the LSU style offense, all that gun stuff, right? It was working well. For whatever reason, they can't just live in that. It doesn't close out games. They don't have enough people on defense. Sitting in the gun doesn't necessarily help the offensive line. You need to get under center more. And Joe Burrow's getting hurt a ton.
Yeah, and that's what I heard somebody say they do play action and motion at the very least out of most
They motion a
all
lot. I
teams.
will say that. They motion a lot, but it's different. They send Chase a lot. Jamar
So
Chase goes across.
I was about to say I do see
They
when I watch
motion
the
a
games
lot.
they
I don't know
motion
what the
Chase.
numbers are, but they don't go under center a lot. It would help Burrow move the launching point. I don't think Zach Taylor's a horrible football coach,
Mm-mm.
but I think his time in Cincinnati needs to be up. It needs to be up because what is going on? Unless there's something I don't know, he needs to be up. Go back to he'd be a great college coach, or he'd be a great offense coordinator in another system. And I don't doubt that he could be a great head coach again. But he needs to get up off the Cincinnati Bengals. This is terrible. You cannot have three season-ending injuries to Joe Burrow, right? I know he came back this year, but that's a season-ending injury. That's why they're not going to the playoffs
Mm-hmm.
because he was gone. They started off 2-0. He was gone for the main part of the season. It already has happened a couple times already. Do I think you can move with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? Yeah, potentially. But that means that your GM needs to be A1 at drafting a defense.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can't miss in the draft. You can't miss with Shamar Stewart. You can't miss with Knight. You guys are going to actually have to hit in the draft if you're going to roll out two Bugattis and the quarterback that makes these guys next level. Because I think it all goes right. But you have to hit in the draft. Duke Tobin, they're not going to get rid of these guys because they don't see football the way we do. They see it as a family business. They see it for
Mm-hmm.
the money. So they're
Mm-hmm.
not going to make the changes, and that's what stinks that they keep rolling this thing out. I think Joe Burrow's going to end up playing on a new team eventually. I think that's
Yeah.
exactly what's going
This
to end
is
up happening.
this is
He's
the
going to
Carson
Matthew
Palmer
Stafford it.
situation all over again.
You said what?
It smells like that Carson Palmer
I'm going
situation
to throw
all
you
over.
one better. He's better than Carson Palmer. It's going to be like Matthew
100
Stafford.
100%.
He's going to go play in one of these McVay systems, right? Whoever knows, it could be with Mike McDaniels. It could be with Ben Johnson,
It could be KOs.
right?
I mean, Minnesota seems like the likely place for him. I'll be honest.
You don't like it to come in Green Bay?
I mean, I would take him over Jay Love for sure, but I don't think that's gonna happen. The Packers,
I
even though
think,
they got Micah Parsons there,
yo,
they're still a very
let me tell
conservative
you right
team.
now, if they don't switch something up, which they're not going to,
Mm-hmm.
and they roll out next season, and Joe Burrow gets hurt, shit, I'll throw you one. Let Jamar Chase get hurt, and they still can't stop a defense.
Ooh.
All hell is gonna break loose.
Mm-hmm.
It is gonna get crazy in Cincinnati because this is ridiculous. I'm firing. Listen. I don't care if you're my son. We gonna sit down. We'll pop some bottles. Listen, I love you, son. I gotta let you go for the betterment. There's no way. This is nasty, bro. It's nasty business. That's my cold. That's my Grinch combined in one. Give the cold to Mike Brown, the owner, and the whole thing. It's 2-1, man. They got me pissed off, man. Bro, I went to Buffalo. I thought it was about to be like it's snowing. Yo, dog, I'm having the time of my life, and these guys smoke again.
Man, that's been funny, yo. Nah, I hear you. I feel for Bengals supporters, Bengals fans, because he's even when people try their best to be like, oh, well, Burrow is this or that, it doesn't matter. He is when it comes down to it, when he's healthy and he's rolling, I don't even care. Honestly, even if there's no T and there's no,
Yeah,
I think he
that's
could still
somebody.
deal. He'll still deal because it's just the way he is the best pocket quarterback we have in the NFL
Yeah,
outside of Stafford. Because I only give Stafford that because he's
I
he's
think he's
much
better
more
than
of a
Stafford.
veteran.
He's better than Stafford.
I'm only saying Stafford because Stafford's been doing it most of his career.
Let me throw this
He's
out
been
there,
there for a
right?
long time.
I'm gonna throw this out there, right? Tom Brady was talking about what makes a wide receiver great in his Mount Rushmore. He talked about blocking.
Hmm.
I don't think Jamar Chase and T. Higgins want to block like that. Maybe T a little bit. Puka Nakua, what makes him an elite receiver, is the same thing that made Cooper Cup elite. It's the same thing that makes JSN
They
elite.
block.
They're willing to get down in the box and block. That changes the guys that are on the field.
Hmm.
You're not now being covered by a corner. You're being covered by a safety and a linebacker.
Right.
That changes the personnel groups. That makes throwing the football easier. You know what I'm saying? So to me, Matthew Stafford is I think he's the MVP. I think he's all time great. He benefits from that system and he benefits from the way that they play football.
Hmm.
And going back to what I was saying, I don't even think you even listen to everything Joe Burrow says. I bet you Joe Burrow loves Zach Taylor. I bet you he loves sitting in the gun and just slinging the rock. I
That
bet you he loves
yeah.
throwing for 400 yards. Yo, Joe, we don't need that. You need to get under center. You need to help with the misdirection, move your launching points, and take those shots more strategically. It's going to keep you healthier. That's what all the top offenses in the NFL are doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're using the look to run to set up their pass. Joe Burrow can do that. Why are we doing this gun stuff? Keep the gun. I'm not saying don't live in the gun, right? All those offenses still live in the gun, but don't be in the gun all game long. Well, you got Micah Parsons and Miles Garrett and all these guys pinning their ears back and going.
Yeah. And rely on the run game. I think missing. I mean, Joe Mixon when he was actually really playing well. Missing him. I mean, I like Chase Brown.
Yeah, Mixon's bigger. Mixon's a big boy.
Mixon's bigger. He alleviated a lot of that stuff that was with the pressure and stuff. So we'll see what happens with them. But I think for me, uh, the Grinch of the season. I'm usually pretty understanding when it comes to officiating. I feel like the fact that the NFL needs to figure this out. This is starting to grind my gear. They need to figure it out because sports betting is so much more popular now. Because it's popular, you have to find a way to make these refs either full time or correct these things right then and there, nip it in the butt. Like at least I give the NBA some credit when they do the reports after the games for the refs. Like the refs will go out and like they'll hold themselves accountable for missed call. Like they'll do like I think it's called the last 2 minutes or something. So if they miss the call, they'll say that should have been
Well,
an offensive foul
you know why the NBA you know why the NBA does that, right?
because of Don.
Yeah. Yo, dog, that could have went way worse.
I agree.
The FBI got involved.
Right.
So they better be accountable.
Exactly. So with that being said, the commission is tied in with the feds. It's federal. There's gonna be bigger eyes on these games, even bigger than ever. And if they notice things are a trend, that's when there's gonna be a question. When they start seeing more players betting on props and this, that, third, like that's I'm getting a little deep when it comes to that. But in general, when you have a game like the NFL, where it's once a week, is one thing for the NBA where there's games pretty much every day. So these refs are going to different cities every other day, whatever the case may be. These refs are part time. They either are dedicated to a Sunday fully. Some of these referee these crews are doing multiple games in a week because they do a prime time. When it comes to that, like at the very least, you need to get these guys to correct themselves and make the
Yeah.
right calls.
I mean,
It's too many. We this is a sport that takes time. It's not like the NBA where it's back and forth, back and forth. You could there could be something that happened, but it's forgotten in less than 2 minutes because we're already like halfway through the quarter. NFL,
especially when
there's so much stop and go, and it's like it keeps on like there's time. The time there's a lot of time for the fan base, the people on the couch to overanalyze with multiple replays to be critical. So that would be me. Like that would be my Grinch moment right there. Like I'm always understanding of the refs and how they officiate, but it's coming to a point where it's like you either you like I've always said this. You're better off just not making any call if that's the case. But if you're making a call and then you miss another and then you're trying your best to make up the call on another play, like
yeah, maybe I
nah.
mean I'm trying to look up real quickly what they do. I mean, what I would say is the NFL, every team, you could be the worst team. The collective bargaining agreement is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Pay the refs more, make them all at least in the six figures, and
Make
maybe
them
give
full
them a
time.
job during the week. Make them have to review. I mean, I'm sure they already do this, but I agree. Make them full time employees. The NFL make enough money that they can be full time employees.
Yeah.
We're not asking for refs to be paid $1 million. I feel get the call as much to closely right as possible. All of this, some stuff I still don't like. I don't want no damn video evidence on pass interference, man. Like,
That was bad. That was bad when they brought that
well,
up.
it's just it. So the reason why I didn't like that call on Amon St. Brown, but Jalen Ramsey, I guess, played it right. Like Jalen Ramsey is usually super physical, and he wasn't really physical on that play. I think he flopped a little bit too, to be
He
real.
sold it. No, he sold it. You have to.
He moved backwards. But see, my whole thing is football players react to physicality. So, like when I always played, I'm not hands on at first, right? I'm moving my hands, I'm knocking hands off, I'm looking to resack. But when you start getting hands on, I get hands on first. So now I come out, I'll shock into one side of your pads, then rip off. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
That all my just informing me based on how the refs are calling the game, based on how the person's playing. If you're not calling this, you can't call this now.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm playing based on the physicality that you're allowing me to play with.
Right.
I can play to both tears. If you're gonna be very cally, I'm not getting hands on. I'm not really trying to hit that. I'm just knock hands off. I'm really gonna play more finesse. So
Mm,
that's all with the NFL. Like I don't want a video trying to review it because I think that's stupid, right? I think that just does not allow players to be more reactionary in the moment. I think there should always be, if you know the saying, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. You should always be trying to find an advantageous angle with the refs, keeping it in some level of moderation.
yeah.
Now they definitely
Hey,
need to be better.
people also have to understand this is at all levels. This is not only NFL. I mean, college doesn't. I think the one thing college is doing a good job is the reviews. I think certain conferences are actually letting you, as the fan, hear and listen and see the reviews in real time. They'll be in the centralized place and they're talking about the New York or wherever it is telling the referees like the reason why this is going to be called this, and they base it off the reviews. Um, but every level, I mean, I remember us coaching high school. There was stuff I was seeing. I was like, what the frick is going on here?
But
And
there's
but
levels
you
to
have
it,
to,
right? Like,
but we had to understand like these are guys who are doing this on a part time or like
bro, it
whatever. They're
can't
gonna
even
miss things.
it can't even at the high school level be a part-time job like that. You have to have other sources of income. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that is the
Right.
side. You feel me? Like, nah, man, I listen, my condolences go out to high school refs. People can say what they want. It's
Send
like
my condolences.
yo, listen, fans are the worst at all levels, dog.
Yeah,
People just be yelling shit. They don't even know what they're talking
they don't
about.
understand nothing.
And maybe what you're saying was true 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I had a kid show me a crackback block the other day. They're like, well, how is this illegal? I said, bro, it's been illegal for like at least 5 years now. Like that. You can't ever crackback block. You can't ever. So if you're in the stands talking about that's legal, you're the dumbass. Nobody
Yeah,
should need to explain that to you anymore.
yeah.
Right? So I think the fans need to do a level of research as well too. And if you don't know the game, that's fine. Just be a fan of your team. I told people, just be biased. It's
Right.
okay.
And the
I'm
thing is,
biased.
the NFL has acquired a lot of casuals, even people who talk a lot of game when it comes to football. They're casuals, and don't get me wrong, neither one of us coach or play in professional football. We haven't, but we probably have a lot more knowledge in the sense of like we actually have and will dedicate time. Like if we had opportunity to have all 21, I bet you and I would sit there and watch every all 21s and be like, see, this is why it happened. We understand the game from a overlook in a different view, whereas a casual is just looking for their fantasy points, their bet on the prop. They see the replay 10 times, so now they're making a judgment off of the replay 10 times. Like, you guys
Jeff,
never played. You never been on the field. You don't even
this is
understand it.
this is the problem. You're talking about gambling. There's the root of the issue. And I like throwing out a parlay too, but I'll tell you right now, I'm up $140 all time in 5 days. Gambling. Okay? I don't gamble to make money, man. Like that, you're doing it because it just honestly, with the parlays, like so this happened the other night.
No,
Someone in
I
my
seen
room,
your ticket. I seen your ticket.
someone in there hit for 3K too. I ain't gonna say no names, right?
Uh-huh.
Uh well it's fun because see what so people do it all wrong. Like what could be run, you get with a few of your boys. All right, we got two teams playing man coverage, so I think the quarterbacks will scramble a little bit
Mm,
more. I got a running backs that run good routes. Like I like these matchups. Cool. Like I do think there's some level of that. But bro, Vegas is so locked in. They already did the math for you.
Yeah.
They already did the math for you. So that leg you think is gonna hit, and people have to understand your script has to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have both running backs rushing for 100 and the receiver catching for 100. Like, bro, it's not gonna play out like that. Because once that other team gets up, they're gonna run the ball, they're gonna throw the ball. But
Yep.
I ain't gonna go too crazy on it. But people listen, you got people betting crazy. Listen, I know there's a bunch of people, if they'll even see this, yo, your DraftKings is negative. It's negative. And you keep gambling. It's negative. Blame yourself. Blame
Yeah, you
yourself.
have to. I mean, yeah, that's what gambling is. You gotta
Blame yourself. Stop blaming the NFL.
you're
Stop
betting
blaming so
money
and
that
so.
you think you can lose.
Bro, you can't. The most you could do is like, I know Jamar Chase is going to go for 100 today, right? Which he still might not. But if it's a game he's likely to go for 100, the payout is going to be so weak, it's not even worth it.
Yeah.
So by the time whatever ones you hit on, you get a payout on. And then there's going to be the game that he does not get it, and you're going to lose your money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, Vegas has done the math. The house don't
Yeah.
lose one way or another. Even if you
Yeah.
win, you lose.
And
So,
they made this shit legal for a reason because they
yeah,
know the
people
ones
will.
who are very good at this were going to Vegas. If not Vegas, they were doing it illegally.
Bro,
Now
I've
they
seen
making
it's
it
like,
now they making it legal. They open up the gates for those who just want to be casual because most people just gamble just to gamble. There's a reason why we have casinos. That's the reason why the
well,
Powerball is at 1.7 billion right now, and people are gonna buy their quick pick tonight. You know what I'm
well,
saying? It's just
a long history of gambling dealt with the mafia and money laundering and all that
yep,
stuff. You know what I'm
bingo.
saying? So you have to
It's still
understand,
there. It still is.
if I have illegal money, I don't really lose it if I lose it.
Mm-hmm. I'm
I'm
on
just
it
trying to
now.
get my money legal. Listen, I think it can be fun. I think it could be community based, and I think you can get lucky every once in a while, and something big can happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I just know the more you're gambling, the more it's not going to go well.
Right.
The more you're gambling, the more it's not going to go well. Like, and when I see people throw $500 into certain games, I'm like, oh my god, why would you do that? They show their winnings. They won like $300, right? Their payouts like 800. They put 500 in. I'm like, but what if that didn't
That
happen?
stressed you out. Like, goddamn.
What if that didn't happen? Because we know anything is likely to happen in the NFL. What if that didn't happen,
What if you're on the wrong sports book and your guy gets hurt? They're gonna be like, sorry
bro?
I'm
I've
sorry.
seen it,
You did
bro.
it.
I've
You
seen
bet
it.
on it.
I put together a parlay last year. Drake May got a concussion within like 2 seconds. I said, oh. Yo, I had another one last year with Malik Neighbors. He needed one catch. They ruled it incomplete. He got a concussion on that catch. All I needed was one more damn catch. I'm watching the last minute of this game going, damn, bro. But that's why to me, like, my parlays are like $1, maybe five. Yo, only time I'll go up on a parlay is if it's a live. Like, I feel comfortable with the flow of the game. Like the other
Yeah.
night, yo, I knew it's like I knew I was like sitting in the front office with Harbaugh and the Ravens, and it's like they were like, "All right, listen,
I knew
when
Henry
Derrick
was
Henry
not playing.
when Derrick Henry runs a touchdown and he goes up, and we got this game put away, we will not put Derrick Henry back on the field. So you're safe to make your parlay for Drake May to throw another touchdown and the Ravens to lose this game because we're not gonna give Derrick Henry the ball again."
That was a nasty ass work right there.
I used to think it was Lamar's fault, like they got an agenda, but I really don't understand their angle and why Derrick Henry was not on the field. They would have won
Well,
that game.
let's speed this up and say I'm giving him a cold. Yeah. John Harbaugh,
Okay.
you're out of here. I don't give a goddamn if they make the playoffs. He is done. I think Lamar is
He's
done.
going to he's going to he's going to Michigan. You heard it here.
Most likely because he's done. Like Lamar saved his ass in 2019, having that MVP season. He saved his ass several times. The front office has done everything they could by giving them all the big name guys, even if they're at the tail end of their careers. They were set up to be championship level type of teams. But yeah, you could blame Lamar if you want because it's easiest to blame the quarterback because they make the most money. The ball's in their hand the most. The crucial bad plays are more amplified when it's there in their hands versus somebody else's. Like Mark Andrews dropped 2 passes last season in the playoffs, but it's Lamar's fault they lost the game, right? So
Oh
it's
no, it's
like
Lamar's fault. Hey, we're gonna stand on that. It was
no,
Lamar's
no, no,
fault.
no, no. I know that. I'm just saying it's still at the end of the day, it's
But
still
everyone's
you
contributed.
don't remember the Mark Andrews stuff as much. You're gonna remember Lamar because he touched the ball 50 times. You know what I'm saying? So those sacks he took or the fumble of his own and the interceptions, yeah, he's gonna be at fault. But if the game was only a loss by 6, and then there was your tight end who couldn't catch in the end zone, how much of it is because you know it too. Brady, there was times when Brady had like playoff games he was not that great,
Yo, don't make
but
me
it was
break that play down. Listen, Jeff, don't make me break that play down again. Lamar is still at fault on that play. I'm telling you right now, Lamar is at fault. The ball is late. It's
I
behind him.
I hear you. I hear you.
He's
I understand.
Andrews
But
got to catch it. I will die on this hill.
but
Everything is wrong.
your coach would have gave you shit if you were the one who missed that catch.
And my coach would have rashed the shit out of the quarterback. He would have
Maybe.
pulled it out. Ball should have been out. Click. Pause the frame. Ball should have been out. Ready to get. Ball should have
That's
been out.
fair.
Pause the game. Ball should be out. And it's
That's
behind him.
fair. But what does your coach say if the ball touches your hand?
Yeah, but that fallacy is the stupidest thing in the game. I'm telling you right now, it is. There are guys that wouldn't even. There are guys at home that watched that play that said, "Oh my god," they wouldn't even have caught the football. They wouldn't even got 2 hands on the ball. They would have. They would have been like, "Oh," they would have jumped out. You threw it behind me. I couldn't catch that. That's why he fell because
I
he
hear
was
you.
trying to adjust to it.
I'm just saying
Nah, I
what
get what you're saying.
what I'm trying to say is that if let's say Mark Andrews caught that, we're not really talking about all this the interception, the throw
Yes, we
behind
are.
them, all that shit.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
If he wins, no, you're not.
Yes, we
In
are.
some of so the point I was about to make, in some of Brady's playoff performance, because he didn't have a flawless playoff career. He
No,
did play well in the playoffs, but not it wasn't always flawless. He had times when he was struggled. He struggled, but he made the plays when it mattered. And you're gonna remember those plays that mattered. You're not gonna remember when Brady started the game. That Philadelphia game when he had the 500 yards. It didn't start off. He
So
didn't
so
start off
here's my thing.
that
Let me throw
that
it.
crazy
Let me
way.
throw this out there as we go on that. Yeah, you're right. You're gonna remember whether they made the plays. But the reason why they make the plays is because Brady makes the plays when they need to be made. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
the point I'm
they're
making.
in the situation. When the Ravens fumbled the ball that led to a touchdown, threw an interception, and then threw the ball 3 times that went from a touchdown to throwing, that's why they're even in that situation. And that's why that happened. Brady's
Yeah, right,
lost
right.
games. Lost to the Giants twice. He's lost games. We know this. But the way that Lamar and Harbaugh's have responsibility too, the way that they go about things in the playoffs is why ultimately they have never won a game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even sold if they go to overtime, they win that game. I'm not sold Josh Allen doesn't drive down the field and end that game right after.
No, I agree. I hear
I
you.
don't think they
No.
was winning one way or another. I think that for the Ravens, the end is near. I think Lamar, he lost weight already. I don't know. We knew this day was coming. Unfortunately, it may be coming sooner than later. His
Does he go?
athleticism is leaving. I don't know what will happen because now Lamar, the stage, and I think he can conquer this stage, but he's gonna be a new Lamar.
hmm I don't think he. I don't think he. I don't think he's gonna struggle with that at all. From what it seems to me, he's always wanted people to respect him as a quarterback because people still have this idea like he's
But
still
see,
this.
that's but
He's a
but
run
see, Jeff,
first owner.
that's the problem with Lamar Jackson. Is he's not the guy that he thinks he is. He's not the guy that people love to riddle off all these stats. I don't care about his touchdown to interception ratio. I know what I'm watching. There's a difference between breaking the pocket, you're scrambling, you have these drag routes across the field, and your guys are breaking away from guys and you're hitting them. He is not an elite passer. Lamar Jackson is at their best when teams are stopping the run. They're stopping his running threat. They're stopping Derrick
hmm
Henry's running threat. And then you got these guys getting open off play actions and whatnot. That's what it is. So the next era of Lamar's career is, in my opinion, he's going to need to become a better thrower, which he's not a horrible thrower. I mean, by no means, but there's
He's
levels
gotten
of,
better. He's gotten better. I would never say he was an
but
elite thrower.
to,
He's definitely way better than we expected him to be.
well, I'd hope, well, we're past that stage. 2019, we
Yeah.
moved past that stage of
Yeah.
he can't throw, right? Like everyone in the NFL can throw a football, but there's levels. Is he going to be able to throw into a cover 2 window? You know what I'm saying? Is he going to be able to dissect a quarter's defense, right? Like, not saying he can't, but can he fit in those areas? Because Lamar is really good on drags and out towards the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
But can he rip a deep shot right in the middle of the field? You know, can he fit it in a nice curl window, right? Off of just, so I'm not saying he can't do that, but to me, that's what makes a guy like Brock Purdy so good. Or a guy like Joe Burrow, right? Or Stafford. They layer these throws into the soft parts of the defense. I don't see that from Lamar. I see them beating certain coverages with drags across the field, and it worked for his game. He's going to have to hit that next level. To me, I think that's always been the downside for Lamar and them. I think they got way too caught up in big moments, proving the passer that Lamar could be.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar is one of the greatest athletes in sports. Put him up there with Mike Vick, Cam Newton, LeBron James, right?
Josh
Muhammad
Allen.
Ali. Josh is weird, man. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna. We're not gonna use any time on this today. Josh is weird,
For whatever reason,
and
I like his game only because he doesn't have. He's really got nothing over there. Like besides James Cook, like he's just making. He's really making chicken salad.
so all right. I'm giving less than 2 minutes to this. Josh Allen's got a canyon that no one in the NFL has. So there are throws that he can make that no one can make. Maybe outside of maybe Patrick Mahomes. But because Josh Allen is such a deadly runner, they have to play him different when he rolls to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Joe Brady is just more interested in spreading the wealth. But the Bills in general, and this is where Lamar and them should have got on, they have no problem just giving James Cook the ball. They have no problem
Yeah.
giving Ray Davis the ball, just running it. It ain't about stats over there. They don't care about that stuff. It will
What?
come.
Because it's crazy. What Sunday proved to me is Derrick Henry is not really regressing like that much as people make it seem. Like he's probably fumbling more because of that's something he could fix. But he's
When
still
guys
as
fumble,
fast as I remember him. He's still
when
as
a
powerful. He's still effective. He had 100 yards, 120 yards almost in 18 carries.
if he's fumbling, I don't even think it's necessarily on him. I think it's something that's being coached, and that's about wide receivers getting in there and mixing it up so there's not as many guys running free around the ball. Because
Mm,
that's what those extra guys do. They come in to punch it out. You can't really see it. But yeah, man, listen, they had their window. I don't think that window's opening back up. And I hope for Lamar's sake that they can get the right coach and that he can make the next step of his career. But I think that's happening. And I just think he's just going to continue to be super injury prone if that's how he's going to play.
yeah,
But
that's what sucks the most right there. Like he is coming to the point of his career where the injuries are piling up, which fits the narrative for someone like himself who's a quarterback that can use his legs effectively at all times, and that's part of his superpower. It adds up, and the fact that the NFL wants to continue to add more weeks to the league, it's not helping these quarterbacks. No, not so much. You know what
nobody
I'm
needs
saying?
more weeks, bro. Nobody needs more weeks. Please
They're
don't
doing.
add
They're
any more
gonna.
games to the
It's
NFL.
sad.
Please
It's
don't.
sad to say they're going to do it, and they're going to push the Super Bowl to All Star to go against All Star Weekend for the NBA. Like, and on top of that, it's just and they're gonna expand it to the point where they're gonna be playing in different countries. You know, it's like it's getting to the point where all this player safety shit they be talking, they don't give a flying fuck. They just want the money. They want the money. It's gonna work
I
for
will
them.
say I won't go too far, and I think it's a tough balance, right? The money does matter. That's what's gonna keep all the things like money don't just grow on trees, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the math got to make sense. But at a certain point in time, I don't want to see football bleeding into other seasons. I love football. It takes a lot out of me. Even as a fan, it takes a lot out of me. So I don't really want to see the season go any longer, right? That's for everyone involved. It's great, but like many things, it can become a vice, right? Like at
Yeah,
some point, we got to
I
be able to
agree.
stop watching football during the year. So, like, even as a fan, please don't let that thing run into March. Like, keep football where it's at. Stop touching it. Leave it alone. Figure out how to make your model better without making it bigger.
Right, I agree. And also make Thursday night footballs like once a week, once a month. I don't care for it every Sunday.
I
I
love
mean every
it.
week.
Now, don't touch my Thursday and Monday night games. I love that, man.
Oh no, it's such a
No, so
aside
I'll
from
leave
the
you on this.
Seattle
I'll leave you
game,
on this
it's
because
like bad
I'll leave you
product.
on this. And my last point, we'll move to the end. But bro, you can't even watch all those games on Sundays. Like I got 4 screens up on my TV, and I'm like, bam, 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 bam. Like, bro, no, it's okay. We could probably take a game off of the weekends and put it on whatever, and then just work a little bit harder. Like maybe I'd be down to extend by a week if you gave more bye weeks, right? So just finding a way, because that's what I like about the Thursday and Monday night games is that is what everyone's watching.
Mm-hmm.
But I just know most people don't watch every single game. No, you watch your fantasy ticker. You watch
Yep.
JSN score 20 points. You didn't watch JSN play.
Nope. They go on
So
YouTube and watch the highlight.
So I like Thursday. I like Thursday, Monday, man. I love it, man. I love it. I love it. I love football. Beyond those, just that Sunday, man. Like I like the Thursday night matchups when they're good, man. And we had some good ones this year.
Yeah, we did. We did. I think Thanksgiving was pretty good, but tomorrow is not going to be looking too great. So enjoy that if you
Well,
may.
if you like football, you'll. Besides, the only one I'm not
Oh
excited
yeah, I'm
about is the
gonna
Chiefs
watch.
Rock.
I'd watch it over some of these NBA games. No disrespect to the NBA. Like for example, like Knicks, Cavs. I'll probably watch that. Spurs, Thunder. Yeah, for sure. Like that's they already played 2 times already in the last week, and they. I think the Thunder is finally meeting their kryptonite. But then when you got the Dallas Mavs against Warriors and you know, I mean, I guess the Rockets Lakers would be entertaining too, but NBA is going to take back Christmas this year at the very least, but I'm still going to watch my NFL football because at the end of the day, I love watching
I'm gonna have a
football.
parlay in. No, I'm just joking.
Right. You might have to throw I might have some ticket. I
In
don't
my
know.
fantasy
I
football
might not.
team, listen,
I'll
I
be
need
honest with you.
Justin Jefferson. I need Justin Jefferson to go nuts on Thursday, man. He has been dropping duds all year, man. I need this money.
But
I
nah,
need and the bragging rights.
listen, I will say this: enjoy the sports betting for now because the way they're gonna tax you for losing next year, it ain't worth it. So I'm gonna enjoy
Tax
it,
you for
and I'm probably,
losing? Yeah, don't be
bro. Not
gambling
yeah.
then.
They used to not tax you for your losses. Now they're gonna tax you for your losses.
How? How does that work?
They're gonna tax you like 10%, some crazy amount.
That's
But
I
look
don't
it
know.
up. They just announced it. It's national too. Look that up. It's not because it used to be 100% deductible, I believe. So you could have claimed it and not be have to deal. But so if you claim it on your taxes, your losses, they'll charge. They'll you're gonna get taxed on it.
I looked that up.
Yeah. But last segment, we got gifts. This is gonna be the last segment because we kind of got to the cold part already. So gifts is like the awards. So I'm just gonna get to like the juicy ones. For example, like MVP, the close races: MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. We'll go down the line on that. For gifts, who you got as Coach of the Year with the last 2 weeks coming down right now? Just to give you some perspective, the favorite is Mike Vrabel at I'll use the odds -110. I keep on saying his name wrong. Mike McDonald and Kyle Shanahan are the runner-ups.
This is why you can't give this award to the playoffs. It has to at least be the end of the regular season. Because if the 49ers win out and other teams lose, well, it's like, you know what? Kyle Shanahan did an amazing job on the injury riddle team. Right? Mike Vrabel's doing an amazing job. But where are they going to finish? Are they going to finish number one in the AFC East or number two in the AFC East? Are they going to finish number one in the AFC or are they going to finish number two or three? Are they going to move down to the wild card? That matters. Same with the Seahawks, right? Like if the Seahawks lose a game, the Rams move back up, right? So I like everyone you said. And then I throw Ben Johnson in there, right? We have, I understand not giving it to McVay, but to give it to these other coaches, they have to ascend higher, right? There has to be a good story. I got to see the rest of the season. I can't answer. Like, I think
No,
I'm not giving it. I'm
yeah.
not giving it to Vrabel. I'm not giving it to Vrabel. The Patriots had an easy ass schedule. I'm not giving that. And what the Ravens did the other night, like it's not even like it don't even hit the same way. I got to give it to either McDonald's or Ben Johnson. Like those are the two that I'm probably looking at based on because they did not have easy schedules. If you're in the AFC, if you're in the NFC North,
It's kind of funny the narratives here too, because it's like
they matter.
I do agree Drake May is playing his ass off. Like he leads the league in completion percentage, and I know Caleb Williams is not playing at that same level just yet, but the kid is nails. Like as a Packers fan, I could absolutely say he's nails. Like the wins they've gotten, they've squeezed out, and I get it. People would be like, oh well, they just barely beat this, barely. That just builds. You know what I'm saying? That just builds up what you like. You are capable of those scenarios, Denver included. Like you're capable of those scenarios. Drake May finally had one of those scenarios this past Sunday, given the fact that no
Taking Derrick
Lamar,
Henry off the
no
field, bro.
Henry,
Like that,
right?
it
But
matters.
they
Like
came
people don't.
back from 11, so you got to give him props. But that was
I gotta give him something for sure, but
the only time we haven't seen the Patriots front run anybody, and they did try to almost front run Buffalo, and they lost that game. So I agree with you. I'm not gonna go with McDaniels either. I'd give it to Kyle Shanahan because they've dealt with much more adversity, and I don't think a lot of people even had that expectation for them to win this many games with Kittle missing almost a month, Purdy missed half the season. You had
yep.
Mac Jones starting for you. No wide, round one, your first round wide receiver was out most of the year. Uh, Ayuk hasn't even stepped his foot into the facility since they since week one probably.
I hope they void
McCaffrey
that
was
contract.
and McCaffrey has gotten. I don't know how McCaffrey's doing it. To be honest with you, like
He's a great
he's at an
football
eight.
player.
He is a great.
He's done.
He should be
This
in.
is
He
it.
should be. Huh?
This is it. He's done.
You
I'm
think the
trading him in
season?
fantasy football the second the season ends. He's done. But he's a great football player. He's a great football
Great
player.
football player, and I think he deserves much more love for Offensive Player of the Year than he's getting.
His
But I would give it to
explosiveness just
Shanahan
isn't
myself.
there. You're not gonna get it when you're not explosive like anymore.
He's about to get 1,000 yards receiving and rushing.
He is, but it's all volume. It's all volume, which
Yeah,
is a
I agree.
testament to how good of a football player he is. That he can
If he
constantly
scored
get
more,
open.
I think if he scored more touchdowns, he probably would have gotten more love.
And you
But
didn't even talk about the defense because they lost Dre Greenlaw in the offseason.
Fred
And then
Warner,
Fred Warner went down for the whole year.
yep, and Nick
There
Bosa
it
tore his
is.
ACL again.
Yep, there you go. There's your coach of year, Kyle Shanahan.
Now, if you're a betting person and you want to bet on futures, he's a plus 330. So if you really truly
I ain't
believe,
gambling on none of that, bro. I
I'm
don't
just
like.
letting you
Listen,
know.
listen.
I'm just letting the
I
people
ain't
know.
gambling on none of that. I already told you. I said I checked my all times. It's actually nasty how it adds up. I was looking at it. So over
Ah,
the last 5 years, I think I've gambled about $5,000 total. That's how much money I've used on gambling. And I told you I'm up $140. I'll own it. I'll own it. But I also know I don't gamble like other people. Like it's for
yeah,
fun. It's like $5.
right.
Like on Christmas, I won't spend more than $15 between the three games.
Of course not. No, no,
That's my
no.
disclaimer. Hey man, if it's working for you, good. But I bet that your 1099 says different.
Yeah,
Stop gambling.
yeah, no. That. To be honest, with you, that's 90% of the population. Honestly.
I know. I told you I saw a stat. It's like less than
Nobody's on. Only people in the green are professional gamblers. Those are the only people in the green.
what probably major information that they have access to that you don't, that they probably shouldn't have access to, but they do. And that's how they do it. It's like less than 3% of people are up more than 5K.
I'm telling you, bro. This is they know how to get us, and it's on the phone. So every time you go check your
Let me
every
go get
time you
my
check the
ass.
score, every time you check the score, it shows the odds.
What?
When you go,
Yo, Brock Bowers just went doubtful?
I'm about to tell you
My
that.
God.
No, he's on IR.
My God.
Is he
That
on your
just
team?
kills my. Huh?
He's on your team.
Yes, bro.
Sorry to hear that, bro.
What happened?
Offensive Player of the Year. Who you got, JSN or Puka?
Uh, I'm gonna go JSN, but damn, but also too, Puka's been hot the last couple weeks. Listen, I need Puka not to have a good game next game. Damn. Ah.
I'm gonna. You know what's crazy? After that game on Thursday, Puka was actually the favorite to win it. But I think because of the little bit of a controversy that he's been going through with like criticizing refs and being on Aiden Ross's podcast, doing whatever he was doing, and certain things, I think that's going to take away a little bit for some of the voters. So that I think that's why JSN is getting a lot of love. But I can see if Seattle wins the number one seed, is almost guaranteed to be JSN in my opinion.
Sorry, man. I'm thrown off after that one.
I was gonna stop you about 5 minutes ago and tell you that because I saw the ticker come up saying that he was out. He's on IR. Yep, with the knee injury.
And I
I
traded
was
for
I was gonna
Kelsey. I
huh?
traded for Kelsey this year, but I don't know.
He's gonna play tomorrow. That's his last game of the season, so he's gonna play.
Yeah, but they're so trash.
I know. I don't know who. I don't know. I don't even know the name of the quarterback that's playing tomorrow.
I picked up Michael Mayer, so we'll see. I don't know. Oh, I could go Jaceki. I gotta think here.
I'm gonna go with the last gift. I was gonna talk about offensive rookie of the year,
Yep.
but it looks like it's gonna be Tet McMillan. Did you want to say anything about because being that you're a wide receiver, do you want to say anything about what you notice about his gameplay or like his like if you've seen any Panthers game with him and Bryce Young? Because I'll tell you what, like that's another guy. At some point when we reconvene after when the new year comes around, we'll talk about like the development of quarterbacks, seeing that old man Rivers is playing at 44. And then obviously a few years ago we had Brady playing at 45, still dialing up. And obviously I must say I'm impressed with Aaron Rodgers, how he's playing. He looks old out there, but he's looking actually good this whole month, shockingly enough. And but I definitely want to talk about like Bryce Young and how like he's developed. Because I think being that he's so small and he's nails. Like I've seen him getting cracked, and he gets right up and he's fearless too. He has a little bit of that Caleb Williams fearless in him. But what do you see out of Tet McMillan that's been impressive to you? Was he the first receiver taken in the draft? I can't recall if he was or not. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was the first guy.
But there was a lot of question marks because big receiver. He was in a pass happy offense, all that good stuff.
Listen, I'll be honest. I wouldn't say I've watched Tet the way I've watched other guys, but Tet is smart. He definitely runs good routes, understands the zones. He's a physical guy, that's for sure. Like he will fight for the football. And I think a lot of that plays into like when the play breaks down, why Bryce Young is still capable of finding him for scores or for catches down the field. He'd definitely be a guy that I'll lock in more to watching next year. I
Yeah,
didn't even think the Panthers would even go this far this year, to be honest with you. So
they're like a boomer
some
bust
of it's
team.
improvement, some of it is a very weak NFC South. But yeah, I think Ted will be good. I think he's like a
He gives me like Mike Evans vibes.
he's a Mike Evans type
Same
guy.
same body type.
It's a little different. I can't explain it. I think he might be faster than Mike. I don't know. There's something different, but it's very similar. It's a very similar style game. You'll be able to consistently feed that guy. He should stay healthy. I don't think he's the best rookie in that class. I don't think he's the best wide receiver in that class. I think he was the most pro ready. And I think that's a little bit different. Next year will be interesting to see what type of step he takes. He's probably lucky he bumped his head the other night in the game because that definitely throws off his numbers, and I don't even know if he'll play next week. So
Yeah. Henderson probably would have won it just because of how the Patriots have been playing, and he's had probably the most explosive
if he
rookie
had another
play.
100-yard game with a couple TDs, which I thought was very possible, yeah,
Oh yeah, he could have. He could have. And I think that's one underrated part about that win streak for the Patriots. His usage went up, and probably not surprising that they started playing more explosively with him because you have to respect his home run ability. But last but not least, it's a two-man race for MVP. And I think you already mentioned Stafford as your choice for MVP. Why are you choosing, because I got Stafford as well, but why are you choosing Stafford over May?
because a lot of the I'll work backwards. A lot of the Patriots' success is still from their defense to an extent. It's from their rushing tag to an extent. And it's not to say that that's not happening in LA. But when I watched the Rams, I mean, dog, he threw for damn near 500 yards the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's just ripping it, bro. Like this guy is ripping it. And I think part of it is he's also throwing to Puka and Devontae Adams. No disrespect to Diggs. Those are better wide receivers. And I also think that McVay is more of an aggressive play caller, where Mayor McDaniels is more of a conservative play caller. I just think that one team leans more on explosive offense and the other leans more on clock management. So I think that if the Rams are rolling with that, they're winning and they can pull out if they can get to, it comes in the last couple weeks, but I think if they can stay on track and somehow can solidify, get that one seed back, I would definitely go there with them. If New England can figure out how to get the one seed, I would definitely go with Drake May. Both of these guys are having an MVP tier season. Sometimes it sucks because it's like 10 years from now, you were talking about how people remember things. Like no one's gonna remember who came in second. But both guys have had all leagues things, and I think at the end of the season when we do that whole like who's the top five quarterback list, like I mean, I'm still gonna put those four guys in there. I think you have to have more than one bad season to get knocked off that thing. But how we had Jalen Hurts at that fifth spot, nah, man, we got a whole new batch of quarterbacks knocking at that door. Stafford is
Yeah.
definitely back in there. May is definitely right there as a top five quarterback. If your guy stays healthy, he's had moments. Is Trevor Lawrence? Is Trevor Lawrence finally turning into the great white hope that we
T-Law,
knew he would be? Does he care,
the
man?
great
Because
white hope.
man,
Yeah, I agree with you.
6'6", 220, silky blonde hair. Yeah, man.
He
I
has
mean,
he has the tools, and I think Liam Cohen has been coaching him up crazy. You could tell. You could tell Cohen's not playing around with this dude. Like he's probably changing his mechanics. He's seeing
I
things
don't
that
think he's
he
changing
hadn't seen
anything.
before.
Listen,
No, they mentioned it. He changed his stance
his stance,
on
his
the
stance,
shotgun
his stance.
so that he could
Yeah,
get quicker to the quick throws.
timing, and it's at times you
Yeah.
can use a punch step. You can use a punch step more from that. But yeah, dude, Trevor Lawrence, dog. So what I was saying about Josh Allen, you can apply it to Trevor Lawrence. He can make throws that
Hmm.
other QBs can't and should never try. The shit people try at Madden is what Trevor Lawrence can do when he wants at times.
Yeah. He'll go
He
to
can
his
fit the
left and
ball
he's throwing across his body still,
he's
throwing
on
to
the
his
left
left.
side of the field, throwing it to the right sideline. Like what? And fitting it, layering it. Like what? Come on, bro.
They gave him Jacoby Myers, who's like a zone killer. Like he if you play zone, he's gonna find his way open. So it's like you gotta give when you give your quarterback a helping heap of good wide receivers, man, they could make some shit happen for sure. But with the whole May Stafford thing, I think a lot of people are giving May a lot of credit because the assumption is they don't have the talent, and I get it. Like Puka is, you know, Pro Bowler, Devontae Adams is a future Hall of Famer, but you know what I'm saying? There's been times I've seen Stafford, like there was a couple guys in that Thursday night game. I didn't know their names. I don't know them. I don't know. And they were getting crucial first downs,
Yep.
being thrown from trusted. He was trusted. And matter of fact, I believe the Rams are the one team that plays a lot of 13 personnel, where they have three tight ends, and I believe all three tight ends have at least two or three plus touchdowns in the season. So it's like we can't take that away from Stafford because he had a uh pretty good two man receiver, like a good number one receiver and a pretty damn good receiver in the other end who can be still a number one. And also don't discredit what the Patriots have on their roster. Steph Diggs was not expected to be this healthy all season. I think that's a credit to Steph Diggs being available since week one, and he was able to build that continuity with May. And also, that's the same weapons he had last season except for Henderson. So the only thing that's a plus on development for him with his weapons. So I don't think I don't like that people make it seem like some of these guys are slouches. Like fucking what's his name? The homie who be walking out barefoot. When they picked him up, I,
He's
I
not
said
their
that was
long
good. But
term. Mac Hollins is not their long term solution. I'll tell you that much.
no, it's definitely not. But he is a big target, and he's a tough ass. They
Yeah, he
got two
blocks his
pretty
ass
good
off.
tight ends. He's a two pretty good tight ends. Pop Douglas been that team for 3 years. Kayshawn Booty has been his favorite target coming into the league since last year as a deep threat. they don't have a bunch of slouches. These are professional receivers. Like they're not that bad. So I don't want people to make it seem like, oh, he's playing with nothing. Like you don't get credited for playing with nothing. You get credit for being on executing the plays that's been given to you, which is what he's doing. That's why his completion percentage is 71%. The kid has excelled and he's been playing well. He's still young, so he does still make the young mistakes, but he does a good job of like, erasing what he did before and figuring it out. And that's why he doesn't have consistent drives where he struggles. So I do
Yep.
give him a lot of credit, and I could see him being a future MVP in the league. But Stafford, he got a lot in his favor, especially the fact that a lot of these writers who do the voting, this is it's like an achievement award for him because he has everything else besides, he doesn't have a Super Bowl MVP, but he's already got the Super Bowl ring. His career has excelled leaving Detroit. He was already pretty decent in Detroit, and he's climbing up the all-time list of different categories. So he's just now is now about padding up his resume, his portfolio for that Hall of Fame. So I think this is his opportunity now
I'll
to
tell
get
you
it.
this: he wins a Super Bowl this year. Matthew Stafford is going to be looked at very differently.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's gonna be in that
He's
top
gonna he's gonna
seven.
move into a lot of conversations that people are not gonna want to have.
Mm-hmm.
Two Super Bowls and an
I,
MVP, and your
he
first
he's
half of
gonna
your career was in Detroit.
yeah.
He's gonna be in that
If he
conversation with all those
if he
quarterbacks.
if he could get the trifecta, the MVP, the Super Bowl MVP, and the Super Bowl, he is gonna. I would have to fully admit he's had a better career than Rodgers. Even though
Don't say
because
better,
I don't
but
think
he's there. He's there. He's eclipsed
eh,
Eli Manning. He's sitting next. He's sitting there looking at Peyton Manning. He's at the table next to Aaron Rodgers, and Mahomes and Brady are still at the top of the table, with Brady with a slightly higher table behind Mahomes, the king of the court.
I'm I'm gonna leave it with this. I think more people need to be should have been more critical of Drew Brees' career outside of the all-time records that he made because I think he never had MVP. He had a
But you know what?
mediocre playoff
So
record.
what? So what? All right, leave you on this. So what happened to Breeze is the same thing that probably was happening to Stafford. He was always that 4 or 5. He was always there. It's hard to win
Mhm.
MVPs when it's Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Peyton Manning. Man, there ain't no ain't no awards left.
Yeah,
Timing
I
is
know.
everything, man.
But
Like
you're
Joe
right. That
Burrow.
is true.
Joe Burrow gonna be like that more than likely.
I know. I think he'll win one. He's gonna have to break a record. He's gonna probably get five.
Not this shit. Nah, nah, nah. I don't know what he
No,
had
in his
last year.
career. In his career,
He definitely has career over
I
that.
think.
Let's see. Hold
I
on.
think once he gets, I think he's gonna be one of those quarterbacks that can, and when he does, you have to respect it enough to give him an
He threw
MVP.
for 4,900 last year.
You feel me? But that was on a losing season. So once they get back to their winning ways and he's able to get to 5,000 because he can with those two receivers. Because look at Dak with freaking, you know, Pickens and CD. That's a shame. I should have put them as my cold. That's a shame. Every two receivers at 1,000. You're at 4,000 as a
You can,
quarterback
yeah, but a lot of
and
those
a
numbers,
thousand rushing. Like damn.
a lot of those numbers come when you're losing. That's what people don't
Well, they
realize. A
were in a
lot of
lot of
those numbers.
shootouts too. That too, but still though, come
You're
on, man.
losing. You're losing. That's why it comes. You're chasing.
And with all that being said, folks, that's why the style points don't win you nothing. It's cute and all. When it comes down to it, football is a game
Those
of
tickets.
yep. And then like you always said, football is a game of attrition. There's a lot of nuance to the sport. A lot of people like the home runs. It ain't like that. It only happens because the quarterback is either given the right play call based on whatever coverage they got, or there's something that broke down and that's how the big play happens. But most times it's all about the jab cross. It's never about the uppercuts in the hooks. You got jab cross your way down the field, and then you're gonna finally get your knockout at the red zone. And if you can't get the knockout at the red zone, guess what? They're gonna counter somehow. So that's just how football is. It's not as beautiful as it may seem. It's not always a big play every single time. It's not that. It just so happens some teams can do that, but look at the Cowboys, like we're saying. Didn't win shit. Bengals last year didn't win shit either. So With that
30
being said,
years. 30 years without a championship game. That's the Cowboys right now.
yeah, it's not looking good over there in Dallas. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to see that for them boys. Um, but with that being said, this is our last episode of 2025. We will be sure to be back just before the playoffs, which is in a couple weeks. Good luck in your fantasy playoff. I know you're gonna be stressing
Well,
after we get
dog,
off
I gotta go
off
figure out
here.
what tight end to put in the lineup now, man. It's fucked up.
All right. But
All right,
appreciate
Joe.
you as always, bro.
Definitely, bro.
Having you on my podcast during the football season. We're gonna chop it up for the playoffs as well. But enjoy your holidays to everybody out there. Enjoy your Christmas. If you celebrate Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, happy to you and your family, and your families, and have a blessed holiday.
Get some
But
rest. Enjoy yourself and
yeah,
get some rest.
that too, everybody. Don't. I know it's been a stressful year for a lot of us, but let's find some time to give yourself some grace during this a little bit. If you have the time to have a break during the holiday, have some grace and enjoy yourself. And like you said, have some rest. But until next time, my brother, thank you for joining me. Enjoy your holidays to you and your family, and a happy new year and all that good stuff.
Too, bro.
All righty.